by the hair on my chinny chin chin. That's how it should be.
There we go.
Sorry.
That was better.
I
Welcome to Feed Your Lion. I'm Dr. Joda L.I.O.N, and I'm here to aid you in the mastery of total health, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, and financial. So prepare to have your wellness tank filled up with this podcast.
Random intro today to the Feed Your Lion podcast. Today's special guest, Eden Roach, is back for round 2. And then our new victim is Brittany Stallo. She is our trainer down in the basement, one of them. Nikki couldn't be with us today, so
She bailed.
She bailed, yes. But anyways, we're going to talk about whatever comes to mind today. You guys are probably going to hear some construction in the background. They're doing some construction in the downtown, so just try to tune that out. And I guess we're going to start off today. We're talking about moms.
Oh, yeah.
So sorry again about all the noise. Apparently, they're going to get more machines involved as we start talking. But anyways,
Could be a good thing, though.
Yeah, maybe
certain things
maybe
out.
it's
I know I need that from time
or
to
it
time.
adds a certain music to our podcast.
That's true.
But anyways, we're going to start off talking today about moms. So they're both Eden and Brittany are moms. And we have a lot of people when they're starting in with a gym or maybe another goal in life they have, and they don't feel like they should be doing it because it's taking away time from their kids, or they feel selfish about taking that time to help themselves. So I kind of wanted you guys to kind of start with that and what your thoughts are on that and what you'd say to those moms, because you guys are both moms and you've dealt with this as trainers too.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I feel like you probably receive the most harsh criticism whenever it comes to that, because you're expected to do all these other roles, like as far as having children goes with sports. Whenever they get a little older, you're basically the caregiver of the whole entire household, and it's you kind of actually see this from more the older fashioned side of people. They expect that that's all you are. That's your definition. That's like everything you do should be like that. And I know that I've had a lot of criticism due to that, because like I always wanted to take care of my body, because I always felt like if I am able and physically able, I'm only going to help my household, because if I'm the only person that's doing that as a role of a mom anyway, because you don't see a lot of dads like making doctor's appointments, doing all those things. Not that saying that they don't, but like it's not very typical. But if I am not at my best, then I'm really kind of shortchanging the whole household in doing that. And as a whole, I think that you really have to change your mindset with that, because basically in the whole grand scheme of things, if I'm able to be I don't even know where I'm going with this now. I can't do it. It's bothering me. Yeah, hold on. I had my brain and I just can't do it today. I don't know. We'll just skip all this. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going.
We want me to talk about being a mom and
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So growing up.
Yes, I listened to it and I just had my thought. I was like, God dang it. I just thought, God dang it. But anyway, F.
So growing up, I watched my mom in the, late 80s, early 90s do like the stepper. I'd wake up, she'd have that stepper out and she'd be on there.
I love that.
So, there was an example there. And then I started, when I started working out, then I had kids. I was scared to death, I wouldn't be in shape for my kids. So I wanted to be a good example for my kids. And when I had my oldest, we would go to the track and he would sprint with me or run the stairs. And now with my youngest two, they come here with me and they love it. Cheyenne's old enough to work out now, so she's just want to set a good example for them. But in the beginning when they were babies, it was hard. And I'd push them in the stroller and the jogging stroller and run just to get something in. But it is hard because you do feel guilty. But if you involve them...
Yes, you incorporated them.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times women will look at you too and be like, oh, that's so selfish. I can't believe that you're doing that. Why are you doing that? And it's just, they don't get the whole grand scheme of things that, this is going to help everybody around. It's going to help me. It's going to help them. It's setting a good example.
So where did you get most of your pushback from? I'm just curious. Was it other women? Was it like family? Like, I mean, who did you like get the most criticism from?
I'm going to say older women in general.
Really?
Yes. Because
that aren't in shape.
That.
Yeah. I mean,
if we're
honestly,
going,
like,
you're on. Yeah, honestly, that's
yeah.
really the truth. And you know, at first I started, like, whenever I first started this whole business venture too, you know, I was on the bikini side of things, so I was getting scrutiny from that too. But it was like the older generation that just thought that, you know, this is your role. You should cook. You should clean. You probably shouldn't even work.
Accept it. That once you become a mom, you just
that
get
your body
fat
goes
and,
to shit, and that's just where it's at. And that's you know, that's not it. You know, I want to live, and I also want to be the mom that's at 60 and 70 years old, whenever I have grandchildren, that I'm still out there in the yard passing football, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, how many people can actually say that? They really can't.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad to think about, because right now, currently, usually, like, you hit your 50s, and I swear to you, I think everything just goes downhill because people haven't taken care of themselves.
In those younger years.
Yes, and I want to, you know, I don't want to work hard and retire and then just be shrivel up and, you know, feel like junk.
Yeah.
You know, I want some good, you know, I want to feel good, and I just think that they don't understand.
That's a lot. I mean, I have a ton of clients, you know, that they're hitting that 40, 50, and they're like, man, like, I'm starting to feel bad. And, you know, like, they're not wanting to spend their retirement years, because, like, what's the point of that? Working, like, hard your entire life to, like, retire and feel like crap until you die. Like, that's not my, like, you know, I don't see that vision for myself. And you're right. You were talking about your mom. Like, I'm sure that was a big, like, inspiration for you to get into fitness anyways, right? Just watching her do that stuff, like, keep in shape. And what kind of model are you showing for your kids? I mean, they're going to watch you. Like, I think people talk about that, like, working in general, whether it be moms, dads, like, you know, but I don't know. For me, like, seeing, like, hard work, I think that's a good example.
You're teaching more than just fitness.
Yeah, like,
commitment, dedication. I mean, being fit is hard. It's not something that, like, you are like, oh, well, I'm going to go do this because it's a walk in the park. It's not. I mean,
no, it's not.
And I feel like after you start, it becomes kind of, you get addicted to it.
You do, and it's self-rewarding.
The feeling that it gives you, and, like, you know, even it's like mental.
You can be dragging, go to the gym, get everything out, like, from your work day, go home, walk through that door, and be such a better person. Like, you're able, rather than your kids coming up and you feeling bombarded and be like, oh gosh, you know, you've not had that time to acclimate. You've gotten all these endorphins going now. You walk in the house and it's just like you're Superwoman. It's like, boom, here I am cooking. I should be, like, walking in tired and dragging, but I'm cooking, getting these kids bathed, you know, and then you also then have better time to sit down with your spouse or significant other. I mean, and you know, a lot of people still see, they'll be like, oh, well, I think back of another more criticism that I had received, but it was to the point where, oh, you just want to be seen. It's no, like, I'm sorry.
Seen how, just because you're in shape?
Just
like,
yes, and there's a lot of difference between a woman who is fit to semi-fit going to the gym that's dressed appropriately versus a woman who doesn't understand that, like, you know, even if she is dressed appropriately, like, if you're somewhat attractive, you're going to receive a little bit more scrutiny than somebody that maybe isn't as fit. I know that sounds terrible to say, and some of you aren't going to agree with me, but it's the truth.
I agree with that.
It's just like that. And I hate to break it to everybody and burst their bubble, but that's exactly how it is. So I could wear something that somebody less attractive wore, and then it would be, oh, well, you know, even though it's fitting for the job at hand, you know, I'm not going to go to the gym, like, with my tits out or ass hanging out or anything like that. But I am going to go with some tight-fitted clothing because the movements that I have to do require nothing getting in the way. And I also want to see the transition of my body, you know, at the same time. So, you know, you get that. It's just, it's, and you can receive that from spouses as well as anybody else, too. And sometimes there's, I think also whenever a woman, after having children too, goes back into the gym, there's a little bit of a worry there too, because this woman is, you know, blossoming again. And a lot of times, in my experience too, with a lot of my clients, like, they come back looking better than what they did even pre-children. And I think that, and then there's this newfound beauty in their confidence, and that's really what people are starting to become a little bit intimidated by
Gotcha.
overall. I don't think it's even so much the looks, but you have this whole new individual that's blossomed in front of you. And a lot of times that's gaining attention, and then the spouse feels left out. And I can understand that, but like, you know, that I think a lot of times whenever that is hit, there needs to be a conversation there, because that woman's 9 times out of 10 is doing that just for her household.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm not saying in other instances there aren't, because there's
always bad
there's
egg
always
and
but
everything, but you can't.
no, you can't. But you can't also put like us in a bubble with that type of thing.
Yes,
you know,
yes,
it's
absolutely.
completely different. So
Now, I mean, when you do come back, like, you know, after I had Levi, I had postpartum depression. I got down to 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And I mean, I usually weigh about 115, 120. And because I just couldn't eat. And I remember just, you know, I didn't want to take any medication. So I started back working out.
Yeah.
When he was about 15 months old. And I mean, that was like my cure. I mean, it really was. It changed everything. And I mean, I wanted to go. I went to the Y, put him in the nursery, and there was times that he didn't want to be there, and they'd come get me and you know, tell me, you know, he doesn't want to stay, but I tried to get in there as much as I could because it helped with my depression.
And sometimes as a mom too, like you lose a part of yourself there for a while.
You do.
There's a time frame where you really don't know, you know, what to do. You kind of give in to what everybody kind of tells you what you should do, you know, which is like all mom things. But like, if you don't set aside that time frame just to do what you want to do, you know, like it's just it goes full circle. It's just not.
Do you think that
healthy.
guilt that moms feel, like, do you think that is more internal or from the external pressures? Like, where do you think that? Because I feel like every mom I've ever talked to has some sort of guilt of I'm not doing enough, or I'm not, you know, like, where do you think that, like, you think that's just a thing that moms have, or you think that's like?
I think a lot of it's inner. I do, because you're expected to do things and you're expected to do these roles, and whenever there's things that interfere with those roles or the time spent on those roles, like you're questioning yourself, like. So you're always like, am I doing the right thing? Did I do this the right way? Am I spending enough time here? You know, I need to work for my family. And like for me, instance, like I've been a single mom for quite some time, and I would struggle with that. It's like, I know I need to be away, but how much away is enough away to still be present, but then, you know, still be successful in all these different aspects.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you don't really understand it unless you've lived it.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel guilt anymore that my kids are older and can work out with me.
Yeah.
But like I said, when I started going, when my oldest Levi was a baby, I felt guilt then because he didn't want to go to the nursery.
Yeah.
You know, even though he was in the same building as me, I felt guilt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost feel like sometimes you can't do it on your own.
Yeah.
And I hate even asking for help. That's another factor. Like
Yeah.
I would put myself through misery just because I'm not.
I can
I'm not-
do it.
I can do it. I'm not asking for help.
Yeah.
So, which isn't always wise, but.
So why do you think, like, I mean, with spouses, to me, you think, like, if you're married to somebody, you want the best for them, right? Like, so why do you think there is that, like, I mean, is it just like a selfish jealousy thing? Why is there that insecurity there?
I think,
you know what I mean?
Maybe the fear of leaving them behind.
Yeah.
You know,
Or looking
or
better
not
than
needing
them.
or not needing them anymore. Like you know,
Yeah.
like
You can stand on your own 2 feet.
because you've made it through something that has required a build in confidence, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, and I think that is like you know, like you said, if you want the best for somebody, I think just like having that conversation, being like, look, like this is something I need for me, like you know, and if you like love me, you're gonna support that.
Yeah.
You know
give
what
me
I
this
mean?
1
Like,
hour, 1 hour and a half, and then
Yeah.
I'll come in, and then I'm right
ready
back
to
it.
go, ready to
Yeah.
go.
And you know, like, well, what I used to do, we used to switch off too. So, and that can also, though, you know, it worked for a while, but the problem is that then, you know, a workout of 1 becomes a workout of 2. So then there's 3 hours in the evening
Yeah.
where everybody is gone. So we actually joined the Y is what we did. And
Yeah.
that allowed for both workouts. And it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Kids
Yeah.
could go somewhere and then
Yeah.
knock it all out. 2 birds, 1 stone and be
Yeah.
finished. But
So besides like the getting back and dealing with the pressures, what other things do you think moms kind of deal with when they're trying to come? I mean, what have you guys seen? Like, what have you personally had to deal with?
do we have enough time? I feel like there's scrutiny on everything.
Yeah.
I can't really. Which direction do we want to go? I mean, because for me, I catch scrutiny in the drop-off line at school. I mean, like.
So I want to talk to you because you both did competition stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, how was that? Because you talked about that, like, briefly in the bikini phase. Like, talk about, like, doing actual, like, competing as a mom and, like, some of that. Like, how was that? And how
I felt selfish.
Yeah.
Did you feel selfish?
I did, and that's why I put a time cap on it. Like,
Okay.
I said, like, I could have easily competed another year or two.
Yeah.
And still could be. But, like, there's part of that whole collectiveness of people that I feel like you have to be single and you have to have no other commitments in your life.
Because it becomes your whole life.
Yeah, and you're never present in anything you do other than counting calories, counting macros.
Eating every 2 hours, prepping your meals, cardio, working out.
But
I was working out 7 days a week. I don't know about you.
Yeah. And I just don't think it's sustainable for me in general. And if you do those things out there, great, fine. I just find that nothing in that whole competition world was fulfilling to me, like on a soul level. Now, I am thankful for what it did for me business-wise because it did give me credibility to the folks around me, and I cannot, I can't, replace that, and I'm very thankful for that. But, I don't really recommend it to anybody. Like, there's so many things going into competing that you already have to be super solid with, and if you have a family, I don't really suggest it,
Yeah.
But if you have a strong support system who's willing to let you be gone
Definitely need
a lot.
strong support system.
100%.
Yeah, Brittany, you haven't been on here, so like talk a little bit about your background, your experience with that, because you haven't been on here to talk about that
With like the competing.
Yeah, and like how you got started and all that. Like what? Because you did you were a runner before any of that.
Yeah, so I was a runner in high school, and actually my algebra teacher in high school noticed my quads and was like, I think
was
her
this a
husband
man
was
or a woman? I mean,
a man. I mean, sorry, not a man. Her husband was a trainer, and so yeah,
that
it was a
sounded
woman.
a little creepy. I just want to tell you.
No,
Okay,
it was a woman, and
Well, he didn't say ass. He said quads.
yeah, quads.
So it's kind of that's a little bit more. I'm like, Picasso.
I'm like, what kind of history are we going into here? All right,
But
sorry.
I didn't. I would go to the Y and I would do leg extensions. I do Smith machine squats and hamstring curls. Had no clue what they were even called. I just went in there. But I also had conditioning class in high school, so they taught us a little bit. But that was a man that was teaching, and he didn't want to teach the females because he didn't want to get in any kind of trouble. So we kind of probably didn't have the best form.
Sure.
But I guess, genetically, I guess it was enough for me to get like ripped up,
Yeah.
So I was pretty ripped, plus with all the sprinting that I did. So anyway, she came to me and wanted me to compete, and that's kind of what got me looking into that. And I started watching Monica Brandt.
I love Monica Brandt.
Love her, my favorite.
Yeah.
And I looked up to her. I met her at the Arnold a couple times. She's very nice.
You're not going to are you going to the Arnold next
That's
weekend?
next
I'd like
weekend,
to.
yeah.
Next,
I'd like
I'm
to.
going to go up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I
But-
keep interrupting.
Oh no, it's fine. But and I didn't really I just continued to run, and then after I had Levi, my oldest, I was 22 and wanted to get back, like I said, depressed. So once I started working out, and then I thought, maybe I'll try this. And I started working at Absolute Fitness, got a little bit of, started training with Amy up there and started seeing, but I didn't train with her long. So then I kind of just did it on my own. And like I would read Oxygen magazine and like kind of built my diet from that. Never had like anybody help me with a diet. I did it all on my own.
That's crazy.
And then it was about 8 weeks out from competition. My husband said, "I don't want you on stage. Everybody's seeing you in a bikini." So I never did get on stage. All that work, like it's 2 years of getting there, and then
I remember seeing all that too.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I do regret it now. I mean, he's gone now. I mean, so.
Note to audience, never ever let somebody hold you back from something you want to do. Never,
But
ever.
I think that happens in
It happens all the time.
And
That's what we're talking about.
And
in
that
general.
fed into your guilt, though, too.
it did. I
That's
felt
ties
guilty. I
right
didn't want my
into.
husband to be upset with me.
Yeah.
And even though
Or
I
feel
wasn't.
insecure.
I had pecs. I mean, I don't think men were out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, look at me. I was proud of what I worked
And Monica
for.
Brent, she was a figure competitor, too.
Yes, and that's what I was going
You
for.
were doing
was
figure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and I had pecs, and you know,
Which is nothing like bikini
My
posing.
husband was not.
You wore bikini.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My husband didn't like the way that my body had started to look because he was like, your back's
Masculine.
bigger than mine.
Yeah.
You have pecs.
Yeah,
Your
fit-
shoulders are huge.
Yeah.
It took me, gosh, I think 7 years to lose all that
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah, you have to run it off
7 years.
and starve it off, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It took me.
So
yeah.
there's a few competitors, actually. Natalia Mello, I think, Natalia Mello. She was a figure competitor, too. She was like in the A class, really short little girl. And she spent like 3 years on a treadmill running in order to make it down to bikini. Like it's just, there's no way, once that muscle's established, what do you do?
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't become a couch potato and just sit there. It's going to turn to fat.
Fat.
So,
Yeah.
I went to, I mean, after I ended up getting pregnant with Cheyenne after that. And so then there's all that muscle and then fat on top of it. So then I just looked
Round.
really bulky,
Yeah.
boxy. So after I had her, I started running, doing 5Ks. And I would run like 10 miles a day, try to get that muscle off. Still didn't want to come off. It took like the divorce diet, almost divorce.
Yeah.
We didn't go through the divorce, but that's kind of what like,
that's also
because I
known
didn't
as
eat
the prick
anymore.
diet, by the way. The prick diet.
The prick diet.
That's exactly
is
what it's
that your
called.
term for that?
It is.
So yeah, because Eden did the smaller framed the bikini. You didn't.
Yeah, that's the personality on stage
yeah,
and more
yeah.
the sexy
Yeah, mine was more of the
straight posing, front pose, side
Yes.
pose, back pose.
So do you miss having the muscle?
I do sometimes. I liked the attention that I got. I'd be in the grocery store and have a tank top on and my shorts, and people come up to me and be like, "How does a woman get like that?" Or I'd be in the gym and they'd be like, "Are you on steroids?" I mean, I wasn't on steroids.
No, but isn't that a great compliment? though?
yes?
You were we got to talk about that for a
Yeah.
second.
Because I worked so hard for that.
Let's talk about that for just a second. How much of I want to hear from you guys what you would say the percentage of people competing that are on steroids or some kind of growth
Across the
enhancement.
board,
Yeah.
majority.
Yeah,
80%?
I would say.
Oh, yeah.
80%?
I'd say, yeah.
I'm gonna Google that.
And I mean, you have some people that are just genetically blessed.
And I
you're
think
right.
that's
Right,
us.
right.
I
Yeah.
think it's just
And
our
Nikki,
genetics.
too. Like
Yes, Nikki. Yes.
Granted,
Yeah.
not to take anything away from our hard work, but like
Yeah.
we do have a little bit of a step forward than,
Yeah, I
than
think
what most
that's
people
how.
have.
I think that's how I was able to.
Yeah.
I took creatine nitro away. That
Yeah.
was it. I mean,
Yeah.
and
that's back when the days of Celtec. 75 grams of sugar per serving, baby. Let's blow you up like a blimp.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it was.
But after I quit
Oh,
doing
I'm pretty
all of
good.
that,
They estimate
82,
76.7%. That was pretty
Yeah,
darn
that
close.
was- I'm proud of you,
This was
though.
pretty good.
But yeah, I was always accused of that too. And the thing is that I can remember, and heck, anybody that listens to this and knows me from the Y, there wasn't a day that I didn't go into the gym that didn't look like I wasn't training for some massive Olympic event.
Yeah, me
too.
too.
I came
I
in.
wanna win. I wanna be the best.
100%. And I would have competitions with girls. Like say a girl walked in and she was strong. I was like, okay, all right. Well,
but in your head, right?
I'm competing with her and she has no clue that I'm even having a competition with her at this
Same.
point. Because I wasn't
you
going
were
to
the same way.
Yes.
Yeah, wasn't going to
Or
let
if I
any
was
broad
at
up
the park, I
Didn't
would
matter what it
run
was.
and beat this girl
Yeah.
in front of me.
Lap her and then be like, I gotcha. Yeah. Same. And like these people are unaware.
They're like,
Completely unaware. I even
hilarious.
did
Oh my gosh, we're so much alike.
Yeah, 100%. Melanie Light. Like
Yes.
I used to see her. I hope Melanie listens to this, but Melanie, I used to see her at Firm Fitness up in Belfont.
Melanie's a beast. She works.
She just comes in with a mean look on her face, and that says she's got business to do, mumbling around. But anyway, she'd go and she'd do all this stuff on, and I'd have a ton of competition with her. She never even knew it. Now she's a client.
Have you told her that?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I have. I used to compete with her all the time. She didn't even have a clue. But I had to find like the top chick in
Yes.
the room.
Yes.
Because for me to work out, like I can't do it at home. if I go
Yeah.
to an outside environment, another facility, I like other people there because I need the competition. So that's why I pick the strongest leader of the pack, and then I try to shatter what it is, whatever they're doing, because I need that for me.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
No, it's
I think
it's a good like,
Yeah.
it's good to have a
motivating.
you
healthy
find the leader of the pack, and
competition,
you either outdo them or you match them. And
And if you're not there, it gives you motivation to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
But back to the steroid thing. So I was always accused because I was kind of guilty by association. Because a lot of the boys that went in there, you know, back in, this is 2003 to 2010, we'll say. And the people that I was around, clearly, I mean, those boys did. And I used to get asked all the time by women, like, well, what are you taking? What are you taking? And I knew that some of the women around me were taking those things, and it would be just the best compliment ever because they would think that I was taking these things.
Yeah.
And me knowing full damn well that I'm completely natural. And they didn't believe me, but I knew it. Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, it's just something.
It was a good
It's your
it
own
was
merit.
so you didn't
I
do the
love it.
steroids either.
No, I never did the steroids.
So
I wouldn't even do the fat burners because I had blood pressure issues
Yes.
with Levi when I was pregnant, and I thought, gosh, I don't want, I just want to be healthy.
And I worked at GNC through all this too. So, and I never even, like, people would come in and buy diet pills. I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
this is just junk. If
Yes.
you want some speed just to go ahead and race your heart, great, have a heart attack.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what.
No,
that's where you
I
gotta
know.
go.
I hate all those. I hate the.
Yeah.
You've heard my
Thermogenic,
spiels
like,
on all of
okay.
it. Yeah, I hate it all.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
anyways, so as far as your stuff goes, do you think you'll ever like get into like doing more muscle, especially training, or do you
I
think
would
you're gonna
like
stick
to.
with the cardio side?
I don't know. I would like to. I mean, I'd like to get a little bit bigger, but like, I kind of went from one extreme to the other. I went to all this muscle and then finally lost it, and now I'm back to just like
Yes.
skinny ripped, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would like to build a little more muscle.
Now, see, I remember the times though, the button ups where you put on a button up, and it's like this, and then you feel like you're just gonna
like fat man in a little cup.
yeah. Fat
Oh
man
my
in
God.
a little cup. That's exactly what it is.
That's how we got though.
Yes,
we
but-
couldn't really fit in women's clothing.
But like, and that's kind of like where wearing athletic clothes came in all the time.
Yeah.
Like it was like athleisure constantly. Because that's what the body that you built looks great in those, but then you go to put on something that requires a little bit of petite and finesse.
Yeah.
And it's just not there because you're like sausaged up. Yeah, it's just.
Oh, and then that was the days of like the low rise jeans.
all the obliques.
And even though I had abs, those jeans were so tight on my legs
Quads,
and butt. I could not. I feel like I just couldn't move.
You
I mean,
squat
I couldn't.
down, butt
I
crack
couldn't get in the
hanging
floor
out.
and play with my son, and unless I had on my, my gym clothes.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That's the only
Why do
thing.
you think like? Why do you think nobody takes pride in their stuff though? Like, I mean, why do you think it is like a steroid like?
Because
driven?
everybody doesn't have the work ethic to do it, so they don't think that you have the work ethic to do it.
But I'm saying why do you think that became like such a thing? Because they're still doing work. I mean, they're still
Yeah.
at the gym.
Oh, you mean
every
just
day.
in general?
Yeah, like why do you think? Yeah, why do you think that?
Faster.
Just
It's still an
a
easier
shortcut.
But it goes back to everything that I think. If you have an easy way out,
You're gonna take it.
you're gonna
For
you're gonna
most of
take
the
it. But how
population.
important is it to you then? Because you didn't do the hard work to get there. So you're gonna be more likely to give it up too.
I feel like
instead of
it's-
keep it long term. That's just how it is. Like something that you put sweat equity into and you really work
Well,
from every direction and you gained it naturally, you're not gonna let it go.
Well,
Yeah.
that I will tell you that I feel the same way about like the weight loss stuff, and I've said that.
We said
and
that the
people,
last
Is
time.
it
people
the
get
shot?
people
Because
get
I wanted
people,
to bring that up.
People get mad about that. I already did a
know.
little 20-minute like explaining it because I've had so many people ask me. People get mad when I say that, but they don't want to do the natural stuff that's like the hard work over the long term. They don't. They want quick
Yeah.
fixes, and I'm not saying like everybody, that's what they. But it's not going to keep it long. You're not going to keep it long term. Like same thing you just said.
No.
As soon as that stops, people are like, "Oh, I'll just use it for a boost, and then I'll do all the." No, your mind wasn't right to start
Well,
with when you started it. Like that's.
I think
say
the
that to
latter
everybody.
effects. You don't know. We're guinea pigs. You don't
Yes,
know.
like
No,
what
that's
is
true.
that going
That's
10
the
years down the
second-
road?
That's
What's
the
it?
secondary
Diabetes.
thing.
You may not be a diabetic now, but
I
you might be in the
say
future.
if you're diabetic, I'm game for it because it's good for controlling their sugars. And maybe you'll have a little side effect of some weight loss. But the diabetics don't tend to like
They don't
lose
lose
as much
that.
weight as like people using it
Right.
for. So, but I'm like that's probably
it's not
good.
needed.
You know what I mean? But anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. Like I don't think you know, if you do want the long term, like you're right, you don't appreciate it as much. Like if you had to do that work all natural, like there's some natural things that are going to help you and stuff, but yeah, if you're looking
That's
for a
how everything is in life. If you work hard, build something, I don't care, with your own hands, you're going to be less likely to want to give that up as if you
That's
just
right.
bought something to sell it.
That's right.
You know?
What do you think about the new generation coming in? Because we're getting to the next, you know, we're middle age now, all of us.
Yeah.
And you've got a whole generation. Like, what have you noticed with that compared to like our age or even older? Like, because I know you have stuff to say about that. This kind of got me started.
Is this, are we on work ethic now? Is that
Yeah,
which
like
part
let's
of
talk
it?
about, since we were kind of going that. I'm going random right now, but
Man, we're doomed. I mean, I have no other thing to say. I mean, I'm serious.
I know you are.
When you can't even count money,
I know.
we're doomed. You know,
You can't write. They can't write cursive. How
They
they can
can't read
assign their
cursive.
name? Yes.
like just service in general, like has become such a displeasant
Yes. Yeah.
occurrence. Like, you know, I just I don't know how you can be even like do a job so poorly and so slowly
Yeah. Yeah.
and inefficiently. It's like let's choose the worst way to do things. And I mean, my kids aren't like that though. So.
Not with you as the
Not
mom.
at all. They're our last hope.
But do you think that's like because they're seeing that more, like in the parents? Like what do you think? Like where? So I actually was reading this book the other day. I'm getting probably really off topic, but
That's
that's
all right.
okay. This last book I read, they were talking about the whole like in the, I think it was the 90s, and I might be a little off, but how your everything is a praise. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're so
trophy
good.
system.
Yes. The whole in sports, like everybody gets
Totally
a trophy.
Totally against that.
I don't.
Me
yes.
too.
No.
But that all got started from that movement of like, let's pray to me. So they actually studied it now, and they said it has not done any good, and in fact, it's raised the level of narcissism
And entitlement.
and like it's not. There's actually been like no good that's come from any of that, and yet we're still like flooding that. And I think that has to do with some of it.
It makes you softer.
It's a
all
softer
the way around.
I do
And-
think the environment is softer.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
in
like-
nature, in general,
You know, you can't hurt anyone's feelings anymore. Oh,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
my daughter runs
Yes.
track, you know, at the Y. She won every race, and then she's ready for her big trophy or her medal. She's like, I got the same medal as everybody else.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
I got this participation medal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
I
it's
would
not
not
fair
want-
for the ones that work for it.
No, I wouldn't want a participation.
I
trophy.
wouldn't either.
Like
I
if you
wouldn't
gave me
either.
that, I would
be like, what is this?
I don't want
What
this.
is this?
Like,
Yes.
no, I didn't earn this. This is like it's
Yeah.
dumb.
No, I know. No, I'm with you. But I really, for me personally, I think that's a lot of it. I think that we have like done this coddling thing. And I think that we're now seeing the repercussions of that. And there's all this like sensitivity and like ridiculousness and culture in general. And I'm
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
nobody
The
like
problems that people have now are ridiculous in
yeah, that's
comparison to
what
what
I'm
a
saying,
real
that
problem
Everybody
actually
has
is.
ADHD. Everybody has anxiety.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't get me started.
My
on that.
son really
What
does
happened-
have it, but
But-
his therapist said that everybody has ADHD.
Well,
now.
you know, though, a good old coping mechanism. There's things that people encounter in life, and yes, it's unfortunate. But by God, man up and do something about it.
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
don't play the victim
like
the rest
feel
of your
it,
life.
That's right.
cope with
You
it,
can
and move on.
Yeah, like you can be the example. Maybe help other people in some way by being that strong,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
shining light that
Yeah.
other people can look up to for that
Yeah.
with what they've experienced. But you know, with going back to nature, you have to have drive. You have to want to do good, I think, and you have to be strong. And with all this weakness, you know, it's like we're a pack of lions, and the weakest ones left last. There's so many weak ones among the pack now, or like a
Yeah.
herd of wildebeest, whatever. Like, you know, like if I'm a lion,
Yeah.
and I'm hunting, I'm going to go for the weak one. It's a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be a weak one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody sitting at this table was a weak one either.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that like our society's made it okay to validate those things and
Yes.
validate weakness.
Yes.
And becoming so weak is now a strength, and it's not.
Yeah.
You look like you're a complainer.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
you're complaining about things.
Yes.
You know, that and topics that just shouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, just quit being a baby.
Well-
you know, like quit being a baby.
Yeah, I've always been the type of person, you know, things can always be worse. You know, somebody else
100%.
has it worse than I do, and that's why I tell my son, like, that's not that bad. Like, and that's what I feel like they're doing to the younger generation. You know, they're, you know, oh, you know, everybody feels sorry for, you know, and just coddling them.
And the self-love era.
Oh gosh.
Oh yes.
Everything's self-love,
I
ladies.
feel like
Don't you know?
No,
Let's make an excuse. It's self-love.
No,
I'm
no,
so tired of
no,
that.
no. I completely agree because I feel like I sound like everybody like looks at me like I'm a jerk when I say stuff like
I could
that.
care less these days.
And I'm like, you know, and I'm like, no, this is like ridiculous. Like, you know, like we're like as a country, I'm like, I think about like these like wars that we had, you know, and I think about like today, if we had to go through something like that, these people wouldn't know what to do.
No.
Like nobody would know what to do. I think about like all these like disaster situations, and
do
I'm
too.
like, would our country survive right now? Because I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
When I look around at like everyday people, I'm like, this is what we're made of right now.
That's what I don't
It's
understand.
scary.
And I don't want to come off rude because, I mean, I'm helping people that are overweight and I want to help them, but they're coming to me because they know they have a problem being overweight. But, you know, like, you know, these celebrities that are really big and unhealthy and, you
And
know.
promoting.
Yeah, they're promoting this. Like, love yourself.
okay.
But no, it's not okay because you're going to have diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, like heart attack. And
Yeah, that's the thing. We make these things that like instead of doing the work to change them, we just like make it okay to be
Yeah.
whatever.
You're sugarcoating everything.
Yes, and I'm like, that's not the way. Like, you should seek out uncomfortableness. You should
For change.
seek out change and a
It
better
takes
thing.
you
Like you
to
have
be
to.
in a painful state.
Yes.
To be uncomfortable to yield any kind of change.
That's
that
right.
is
If
so
everything
true.
was perfect,
Yeah.
well, why do I need to change?
That's right.
You know what I mean? It's no different than you have a child that's a mooch.
Yes.
Like we'll use that example. A child that's a mooch. You've given them everything. They can't flee the nest. They can't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Well, you created that too.
Yes. Yes.
You have to be a little bit more
Yeah.
stern.
And if
I
you
mean,
if you
you
hit
gotta
that
wean
bottom, like that's okay. Like okay, what are you gonna do about it? You know, if you can't pull yourself up out of that, then what are you doing? Like, I mean, there's got to be some kind of purpose, right? That's like
I think a lot of people need to hit that rock bottom now.
I hit rock bottom and then you texted me. I don't know if we should talk about this.
it.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Well,
Brittany.
I lost my husband in December of 2022, and then when did you message
So,
me?
Tell
so
the
we'll back
story.
up
This
a
is
little bit.
cool.
So
This is cool.
the way this works, so Jodelle and I had kind of come up with this idea that I was ready to branch out with barbells and bombshells, and she wanted to open the basement. So I had been racking my head for several months. It was like that whole year, really,
Yes.
of somebody that like I thought would represent the brand. And I mean, I had nobody. I was literally like going through friends and seeing people who were potential trainers, nothing. Well, I go to bed, and this was in January, I think.
Was it January?
I think it
Because
was
he
January.
died the end of
January,
December.
yeah, it was January or February.
Uh-huh.
And I want to say. And I went to sleep, and I have not seen her since track in college, or since our running class in college.
So like 05?
Yeah, and hadn't really spoke to her, maybe, or anything like that. And I dream of her. And I had work the next morning, and I woke up at 4:00 in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna message her because I'm getting cold chills. See that right now?
I thought I saw that.
And I am too. And I was like, you're gonna think I'm crazy. So I'm opening this extra location, this second location. I haven't really thought about anybody but you. I just dreamt of you, and I explained the whole thing out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, she's gonna think I'm nuts. Well, she ended up replying like by 6 a.m. I think it was.
Yeah, probably as soon as I
And
woke
she's
up.
like, you're not gonna believe this, but I've been thinking about like either going back to school for like hair or back for training. So it was like divine intervention that
Yeah.
even happened, and she was on board. And then it was just like it was just a good thing.
I mean, yeah, but I felt I was like, I was at rock bottom because for years, Joey always took care of me. I was a stay-at-home mom. I mean, yeah, I had that fitness years before that, but I was just, and that took me out of my comfort zone when he died.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's-
I am the only one now. I have 3 kids to raise.
Yeah.
And I thought, what am I going to do? I haven't worked for years, and and that's what I kept thinking. Like, I want to be a trainer, but I don't want to go work for like $10 an hour at Planet Fitness. I can't do that. And, I feel like it was just meant to be, really.
It's perfect timing.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing, because even like starting the gym, I had been like, okay, I've been doing all these things on my own forever, and I was like, my prayer for the last like couple years has been with things like I need some like mastermind partners to like build, because you can do so much more with partners, like good partners who share things with you than you can like on your own. And to like, and you look at anybody who's gotten really big in business or anything, they've always had that like. And so I was like, you know, like I was kind of like, let's make this happen, because I've had some bad like things with that in the past. I'm like, okay. And we had been, you know, I've been at the gym with you for a while at that point. And I was like, okay, like this is great because it's wellness anyways. I want to experience that. So the way that all happened naturally anyways, and having the space, and then with Brittany and now Nikki coming on, which Nikki couldn't come today, but like, it's just kind of, you know, all these things just happen, and it wasn't like anything. There was nothing forced or like anything. It was a natural.
I always say it was God. She's
Yeah.
God sent. I mean, God sent her.
Yeah, no,
Because
I mean,
that was, you know, I had
I
prayed
don't
like,
dream
what am
that
I
often
supposed to
either.
do?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like, you know, I feel so strong now, like a stronger person, you know, and also I have lupus, so that was a big reason I was a stay-at-home mom, and my husband took care of me, and I feel like he enabled me. You know, he'd let me lay in bed all day, and I'd be, you know, and I quit working out for a couple years because of it, and thought, you know, I guess this is just how I'm going to die. And, you know, and so when she texted me, and now I feel like, you know, I'm doing things I never would have dreamed of doing 2 years ago. Yeah. You know, it took everything I had just to go to the grocery store 2 years ago, and now
you're
working
getting ready
out,
to
training
train
people.
on a pole.
Yeah, getting ready to do some pole.
Getting some pole dancing.
Some pole dancing and
pole dance class.
Tune in for that one.
I mean, and that's the
Tune in
thing,
for
and that's
that.
what I was saying.
I
Like,
will.
it's just, you know, and people that are sick, you know, and maybe they should try to work out and you know, just ease into it.
If you can walk to the refrigerator, you can work out.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Listen, like I've like done workouts here and there my whole life, but like it's a hard like transition. I'll say that. Like people, they need to be okay with like knowing, hey, you're gonna be sore for,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yes.
you're gonna be sore. I don't care if you're in shape or not.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be sore. It's not gonna always be fun
yeah.
sometimes.
I'm
But you're
still
gonna
sore.
have a community that's gonna support you.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, whenever you walk out, how do you feel?
You feel good. You're
It's
like,
a good
you've
sore.
you've done.
Superwoman.
No, yeah, it's not a bad thing at all. But like, I think people just need to be okay with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
and pushing through
Yeah.
that. Like,
Make
I think
that normal.
That's how that's how you get that toughness. So that's how you get like that. Like for everything else, like you got to push through those. Like put yourself in those positions to be uncomfortable if it's going to benefit you.
Yeah.
100%.
What is that Marines quote? Pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yes. You, she laughed. You laughed as you say it.
No,
But
that's
it's, you know, like I remember being in high school and like, you know, them trying to recruit me, and then every time I'd work out, I'd be like sore, and I'd think about that.
Yeah. No.
See, I like pain is an illusion.
Pain isn't
You know what I mean? Because like it is like it's kind of like childbirth. You know, all that pain. What happens after you hold that child?
You forget about it.
It's non-existent. You don't even
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's an
I
illusion.
don't know about that. I think I'd like
It's an
definitely hold on to that, but
Yeah.
you're tougher
No,
than me.
It's an illusion.
I think I
It's
definitely
temporary.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't think it was bad. You know, people relate
Well,
things to childbirth, but
Yeah, no.
I'm so much of a wuss.
I would. No, it's not that terrible. It's not.
I'm gonna leave it to the two
I can
moms
think.
to
No,
say that.
I know, but I can think of many things that in my life that's been a little harder than that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you say? Like if you're like having moms come in there and they're struggling, like what do you tell them?
Depends on which. So are they a new mom?
Whatever. Give your breakdown. Give your spiel. I know.
Well, it's-
I know you like your motivational speeches.
I do. Whenever
Yeah.
I'm on a roll, I
Yeah.
will give a pretty long one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically what, like we said in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, you are the caregiver of your entire family. And what we're doing here is equipping you with the physical ability and also the mental capacity to go home and take everything in stride. When as before, you may not be able to take everything in stride, but and then in the process, in building those muscles, you notice that jobs around the house become easier, and then also building those mental muscles, like you're able to handle those fits when those kids are coming at you. All of it. It's just something that every woman needs to do in general. And at first, if you're a 4 a.m. person, you're not going to like waking up that early to go work out and that's another thing with the timestamp. Majority of the women that I train, majority of my clients are in the early a.m. and it's because they have jobs. They have kids that are in every sport throughout the evening. So the only time that they have to do that they don't feel is taking away from the family is when their kids are sleeping. Yeah. And that's at 4 a.m. So, and if they're finding a way to do it, everybody can find a way. It's not going to be super easy, but it will become habit.
The time thing is huge because people say they don't have time for everything. That's such bull crap.
Maintenance, man.
That is such bull crap.
It is.
If you have a priority for something, it gets done. Like, I don't care what it is.
Meanwhile, they're sitting on their phone for an extra 15, 20 minutes.
There's
at different intervals in the day, but they don't have time.
It's such bull crap. How much time you got for Netflix or you're scrolling? Like, it's bull crap. You have the time. I don't care who you are. You got time.
Yeah, and your energy yield will go up. And, even if it is early in the morning like that, you're not going to be tired. The first few weeks will be hard.
Yeah.
It'll be rough. And maybe when it gets cold out a little bit, you kind of want to snuggle in a little bit, but that's...
Yeah. If it's you're right. If it's a habit, you do it.
It becomes, and the thing is if you treat your workouts...
a lifestyle.
Yes. But treat it like it's your job.
That's right.
There's a lot of times, I just got onto a client there last week that, they wanted to miss, and I was like, would you call off from work right now if you were going into work? Well, no, they wouldn't do that. So why are you calling off...
From your workout.
Here. Yeah. I even had, and Michelle, did you see, she put that on Facebook,
that's
guys.
Hilarious.
But yeah, she said she had gotten a shot, and she's like, I'm going to skip workout because it's sore. I'm not going to go. And I was like, well, what kind of shot did you get? And it was a depot and B12 or something like that. I was like, well, I'm calling off too. I have a paper cut. I have a paper cut. So...
No, I mean, you're right. What's your priority?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but
that's,
meanwhile, you got, Tammy Jo coming in here with her knee taped up, hobbling along, and she's getting her reps in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Finding a way to...
And you got several that are over 70, in there, busting it, and they look awesome, man. They're putting the young people to shame.
100%.
They don't look like they're
not
over
at all.
70.
They take care of
Maybe
themselves.
Maybe that's the fountain of youth.
It's 100% the fountain of youth.
Yeah.
And maintaining a good hormonal balance, all that all goes together hand in hand. And but they're just like Sally. I'm gonna reference Sally Caudle if anybody knows who she is. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And she just looks like this old
Sally.
Hollywood star.
She does.
She's so beautiful,
She does.
and she doesn't realize how beautiful she is inside and out. But
and
Hazel, yes,
they're beasts, man.
They are, and you would never guess that they were 70 years old. You you would just never in the world, just the way that they move. And Marty, Foley, she's another one. It's insane. You'll see her just bust out a big old, sprint on the treadmill. It's what? Yeah. Where did that come from? But these women take care of themselves, and they lead lives too that are very rich in friendships and a lot of mental things that make them feel good, and that's really it. I think that the happier that you can make yourself and eliminate. You hear people say eliminate negative in your life, but it's true, to a certain factor, just eliminate those things and make it to where you wake up and the simple things that you enjoy, like a cup of coffee with a sunrise. I can't tell you what that does.
Yes.
Whenever I know I have a hectic day coming up and, which I live out in the boonies now, which is great. But I know I have a hectic day coming up. I beat everybody up in my house and I will walk out and I will watch that sunrise and I'll have my freshly brewed cup of coffee. And just the mist and the smell and just the birds coming to life. That's such therapy.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else, to center me for the day. And then I like to end it the same way if I can.
Yeah.
But it's just I think people get in such a rush nowadays because with these cell phones and all this, and you're focused on things that don't really fulfill you the way that you need to be fulfilled. And if people would just slow down and literally smell the flowers, it'd be a lot better. I don't know. it's just this world's gotten real fast paced, and I think in the long run, it's doing damage to even just the nuclear family. Like nothing's as nuclear anymore as what it could and should be. But
well, that's like, so what you just said is another book. I like my books, but it was a concentration camp survivor, and he talked about that. He survived, like, I mean, very like. But he talked about the simple things, even in like it was, he talked about hardship. I mean, living on a little speck of bread a day and sleeping on just planks and cold all the time. Like, I mean, just crazy stuff that they had to deal with, working in the frigid things with nothing to eat, you know. And they would talk about like just looking out the window and seeing a tree. Like would
dew on it.
Would provide some kind of like deep like comfort, or like it just even like a spiritual thing to it. And I'm like, you know, like that's the simplicity that like you can find peace in those things if you're looking for that. You
get
know,
chickens.
No matter
I'm telling
what
everybody,
your
get chickens.
situation. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Though, like it's those very simple things that provide these like foundational, and that's. We're talking about total health, you know, taking care of yourself physically. You only get one chance at that. And if you don't do that, I mean, you're screwing up all the other things as part of your health. You know what I mean? So it's...
mind, body, soul.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, my 2 cents. But it reminded me when you were talking about that, because that's really it is. It's in the simplicity.
it is.
And have a
simple
hobby that
things
you
in
love,
life.
too. Like maybe something that's just yours. You know, like I think a lot of people, like I've asked some people, what do you do for fun? They can't answer that. You know, because they're wrapped up in that role of motherhood.
Yeah.
You know, doing for everybody else. Like, well, I don't paint anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't, draw anymore.
And I think
don't
that
do
changes. I mean, obviously it changes after you have kids, and then it becomes, I get joy out of watching my daughter play basketball or my son play football.
100%.
And that's what I do for fun.
Yes. Yeah, and I love those things, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the crazy mom, too, aren't you?
The crazy mom that yells and don't mess with my daughter on the basketball court because I will yell at you.
I was like that too. I had a couple board meetings.
Football's not as bad. It's
Would
basketball.
you laugh if Brittany was yelling at you though? Would you? What?
She wouldn't yell at me.
I know.
I
know.
love
But,
Eden.
I know, but like I don't know how I'd take Brittany yelling.
She cares what I think.
I do. Yeah. I know, but I have my clients tell me, they're like, you're the nicest trainer we have ever met. They're like, trainers aren't supposed to be nice.
But you're supportive in a way that I'm not. You know what I mean? I say that about Tabitha. I was, wish Tabitha could have been here today. And she's supportive in a way
we tried to get all of them here today, but
but she's supportive in a way that I'm not. Like if somebody says something to me excuse-wise, just like
you don't
example,
tolerate it,
I can, I just.
But I think people seek out. I mean, different personalities are going to go well with different personalities.
Yeah, and and we kind of have everybody covered with that.
We do.
It's a great
like
dynamic.
You had a client and now she's with me and
she's clicking better with you.
We click and she says it's her therapy session and she gets her workout and it's amazing. Yeah. And I love her.
Yeah. See, like I could never work out with Brittany. I'd be like, no, you're like this.
I'm not hard enough, right? I won't be hard enough on you.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why Eden likes to like rip my ass all the time.
Constant from the time that she steps in the door.
Yeah, like I don't even have to open my mouth. I would just walk in and it's something.
Yep.
Like so I'm like I don't
for
know.
breathing. It's for breathing. Then Jodelle asked me this crazy question and I'm just like so bumfuzzled that like she asked that. I'm like, really? Like
wait, let's back up. Now explain why you couldn't work out with me. Is it just because I'm so nice?
Oh, it's the personality, 100%.
Okay.
You wouldn't be mean to her.
Okay.
Yeah,
you would nurture her caring, like the caring side, the nurturing portion.
I could marry you over Eden though. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I'd be like,
you're like nicer. Like I want nicer at home. Like my like my
and I
like
marry
my
you also because we're the
like my wife is like nicer like most of the time. You know what I mean? Like sweeter. Like I couldn't handle Eden like that because I'm like when I'm home I want to be like loved on. You know. But like if I'm doing something like. If I'm doing something like, like trying to be a beast, I need to be like kind of yelled at a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'd be like, cook my eggs. I'd be like, you cooked your own damn eggs. You came in late. I ain't washing your dishes either. Get your ass in here. I got plants to water.
See. But
so
it just depends on the situation.
Yeah,
feed your own damn dog.
We're a little too much alike.
That's what I was going to say. You guys are
we're a little too much alike.
I feel like Jocelyn, your wife, is
She's very.
I feel like me and her are, you know, like
she's
a
very
lot alike. Like
she's
with
like
the nice, being
she's
nice.
introverted, and she's got this very sensitive, like not at all like me.
Yeah, the sensitive
Eden
part
and
of
I
it.
are more like hard asses.
Yeah.
I think
I could give a shit
like,
less what people think.
know.
I think that's why Jocelyn can work out with me because I'm not like.
Oh, I don't know how she'd do with Eden. I think she would get sensitive. Don't you think? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, see, that's what I mean. It's
I would hurt her feelings, and it
Yeah.
wouldn't be on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Because like I would just be wanting to pull the animal out of
yeah,
her.
yeah.
And it probably wouldn't work.
Like, see, like Brittany, if I was like, because I hate cardio with a burning passion, I just want to lift weights all the time, and like, she's like, she'll be like,
I'll just throw a medicine ball.
she'll
at her
just
head.
like be like, go do this, and I'll be like, I just think I'm gonna skip that today,
Yeah.
and she'll be like, why would you like half-ass your workout like that? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, she'll get like real like, and I'm
But
like,
then I'll be like, you're gonna half-ass
and-
your business too.
and then-
You're gonna
and then-
half-ass when a patient comes to see you, you're gonna half-ass that.
Then I'll feel
The
guilty.
reality
Then
of
I
things.
feel guilty, so I end up doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and I feel like you'd be like, oh, okay, you're not feeling it today. Then maybe you wouldn't.
I
Maybe
don't.
You wouldn't.
No, I make
don't
them do
know.
their cardio because, you know, like I was
You
a runner,
love-
so
you
I'm
love
like, that is
cardio.
important.
Yeah.
You
You
need
love
to
cardio.
get that running in.
Yeah.
I don't care if you've had a bad day or not.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, get over
I'll
here.
be like, I don't feel the best today, Eden. I don't want to.
Well,
and she'll be like,
are you bleeding?
It's okay. You'll be
You know,
good. You'll
is
be
it-
good.
is there a bone that's broken?
Just go ahead and do it.
And or my favorite's abs. She'll be on the decline bench doing abs. I'm like, how many did you do? Well, I did 15. I said 20, Jodelle. So then I proceed to go over there, get a heavier medicine ball, and just throw it to her every time, and then count it out.
make it
And
harder.
then she makes fun of my sweaty hands on top of that.
I've never in my life. I've never in my life had a ball where I've thrown the medicine ball to the person and it comes back to me after one toss and it's soaked.
Sweaty blue balls
It is
right there.
soaked. I've never had that happen before.
And I'm like, I told
couldn't
you I got
believe
hyperhidrosis.
I
if
went and
you're
washed
gonna-
my hands afterwards every toss because they were soaked. I was like, this is weird. It's so weird.
Oh, that was so
weird.
off topic.
Yeah, but it was.
How'd that even
I
get
don't
there?
know.
That's terrible. All right.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of other things.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Because we've gone way downhill.
I don't know. I kind of like this. Let's keep going.
I don't think we should.
I think if we were live right now, I would like to say, all right, viewers, give us a topic. We should do that one
Wait
day.
a second. When you first, I never asked you this. I know a question I've never asked you.
Okay.
When you were first starting out and you were doing your train, who did you train with, or did you do it like she did most of hers on her own?
My dad.
Your
Like,
dad
yeah.
was your trainer?
Well, my dad, I grew up watching him. And
Okay.
then basically, like, it was like kind of the same thing. I just always had a weird, like, hyper awareness of body, too.
Okay.
And Dad, basically, I started lifting with him at home. And then I just went straight. Actually, after that, no, I have to say I started lifting weights with the football team at Sims Valley.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was the only girl really in there.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah.
I liked that. And they allowed me there a few times, to go in after school and
So,
lift with the
so
football
when
team.
you were competing though, did you have a specific trainer?
No, I did that myself.
You
Like
did that.
I'm
You're
100%.
too- I know you're.
capable.
I know you're anal
Yeah.
capable. I'm just
No.
like I didn't know if you needed like any accountability. Or
No,
it was
I
like,
went first for like posing classes because at
Yeah.
first like I didn't really realize the extensiveness of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that, like again where I was so aware with my body, like I just put up a big mirror and I just did everything until I hit until I hit like all the criteria that they look for,
Okay.
and then I would practice and I would tilt that mirror approximately how low the judges were going to be because it's an optical illusion too.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Pumping Iron? The old, like, from what,
I saw that.
1970s?
Did
Yes.
Yeah.
That
like
was
comedy.
that was motivating to me.
You like
sorry.
that?
Yeah. It's wrong.
So you were talking pumping iron.
Pumping Iron.
You like
yeah,
that?
with
You like
Arnold.
that one?
I love it.
I did too.
And then they had a
I'm
Pumping
obsessed with
Iron
Arnold.
for women. I never ended up watching all of
I
that.
didn't either. I didn't even
But
know
I mean,
it
they were
existed.
so small back then. I mean, I feel like they were like my size, but they were
Oh.
bodybuilders.
sure.
Oh no,
so-
that's how they started. Like if you
Yeah.
watched all that, they were like tiny.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And everything's progressed. Like bikini
Yeah.
took the place of figure took the place of women's bodybuilding.
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
yeah.
So
that stuff always was interesting to me and just motivating.
See, I think it's interesting that both of you guys didn't really have, like, you were kind of like self-taught in that. Like, I think that's interesting.
Well, you can't really trump that either.
I was self-taught because I didn't have the money.
Yeah. Well, I think you learn a little bit more. We have a little bit more experience under our belts than what, say, just going and getting a certificate.
But you know what?
But
that
like
says
with the posing,
accountability. But I think the accountability though, like that to me is the biggest aspect. And you guys, I think that's cool that you guys.
I mean, I put a lot of hours into it, so it's not like I just looked at the. And I would go to places that I actually went to Firm Fitness because they had that room with all the mirrors, and I'd be like, there's no class today, right? And I would put on my swimsuit and I would do my little jig. There'd be times I'd be laying in bed at nighttime, and my little feet would start working, and I'd start flexing certain areas because when you do a turn, you might squeeze a glute and maybe pull this shoulder back with the dead arm too at the same time because you still have to be like finesse. And I would be laying there in bed at nighttime doing it in my bed.
Oh my God.
And at the time, Brandy would be like,
funny.
What the hell are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even know I was posing, but I'm posing today, tonight. And
I'll tell you another, like I said, Monica Brandt, loved her. I would get on YouTube and watch every interview, any workout that she had, and, would learn from that.
So I mimic my posing from Amanda Latona. Like, I love her. Okay. And she's no longer in bikini, but that's I watched how she moved and how she played with the crowd and facial expressions.
Who do I need to model after? Now remember, I want to be like 3 times bigger than I am now. So who should I try to model after? You guys gotta give me somebody to YouTube. Now you're getting me all like, wait, what are you laughing at?
I just had I had a flashback from a conversation that I had, and I think you were there too because I said this.
I am really scared right now.
Matilda, remember the Matilda?
Oh no, we are not going there.
I love it. What's her name?
No, I'm not even saying that. I know what her name is.
But that's who you remind
me of.
It's
freaking Trunchbull, and I'm not.
Yes, but not like that. But like you just how you're. Boom, 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 boom. Like I would just see you I'm surprised you don't have all the kettlebells and you don't have to with your belt on and you know what I mean.
I can't believe you just said that in front of Zach because you guys know Zach's the camera guy, but he tried to get me to try out for that because they did Matilda at the Paramount and I'm like, she would have been perfect. I'm not flipping doing that.
I mean, perfect. I really think you would have been perfect.
I'm serious. I need a real model.
So are you thinking bodybuilding model?
She's wanting to do.
I'll probably do physique,
but we got to come up with a talent she's got to do.
I'll do karate or dance.
Hey, have you guys watched one? And this is not like a real bodybuilder.
I'll break some.
I'm going to cheaty chop your hair and cheetah chop your hair.
Listen,
I have just the guy.
I'll put on a performance. That'll be my best.
Yeah, Judy chop.
The Judy chop. Judy chop. That's what it is.
Or the ninja chop.
Ninja chop.
Ninja chop.
I'll do up the performance. Okay, I'll do up the performance. That part I got in the bag. Okay.
Well, there's certain aspects you got to hit within that performance.
Don't worry, I got this.
Here we go.
No name has come up.
The single
Killer Sally.
Yeah.
Look her up on Netflix.
Who?
Yeah. Look up Killer Sally.
Oh, I know Killer Sally.
She was a bodybuilder. I don't know. I guess she wasn't famous. She's famous for killing her husband.
She started small though. She started pretty small. Yeah. I mean, she only got big when she did the steroid stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did do steroids.
Which usually for that.
Probably why she killed her husband.
You told me I would probably 5 years I could get size wise. If I did nutrition, I know.
We're still working on that.
I know it.
Crickets.
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 Nutrition is hard, and abs are made in the kitchen, right?
No, I was just checking to see if I could hear them.
Whatever.
I put these on because I couldn't speak because of the work
Every
outside.
day she says this shit to me. Every day.
You said you liked me because I didn't sugarcoat it.
I know, but you're supposed to, you. I don't think you've ever told me in this whole 2.5 years now, 2 years. Have we ever talked about somebody I should try to look at their stuff?
No, we've not made it to that point.
I need to.
We've had a lot of goals, Jodelle, thrown around.
And I feel like visualizing.
Anybody that knows Jodelle knows what I'm talking about.
You should. You need someone to visualize.
That's
to
what
look
I'm saying.
like.
Yeah, that's what
I
think
understand
that is motivating.
No, I agree.
Brittany
I agree with
gets
that too. Ronnie Coleman. Thanks, Zach.
I
Yeah.
don't even know what.
Ronnie Coleman, he's huge.
I'm
How about
I'm
Arnold?
talking about
I
a
mean,
female.
Arnold is a.
I love Arnold, but I
Yes.
would need
You
like
know,
a female.
I really can't. I really don't know anyone in.
I don't either. In
I don't- I never
bodybuilding,
followed
that's why
that.
I said Killer Sally. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a bodybuilder.
And see, the thing is, like with me, where I looked at people that I wanted to be like
Yeah.
Amanda Latona,
Yeah.
so I didn't even
Yeah. You didn't
care to
look at
know.
it,
Now I know the bodybuilding men.
Yeah.
Because I just thought that was cool, not
Yeah. So that's
But-
I'm gonna give you a homework assignment.
I
for
really
me.
would
I
have
need-
to go through and look at a body type and be like,
Yeah.
See, you remind me more of the CrossFit side of things, though. Like whenever I think of you, I think of like, and I don't know who the main competitors and the females,
don't either.
CrossFit is, but where you like more functional things,
Yeah.
that kind of puts together talent. You know what I mean? Rather than just showing off a physique, because
Yeah.
physique is about physique.
Yeah.
And I think that you would be happier, even mentally too, not being judged on that
Yeah.
per se, because like your whole reason you're choosing physique is you're wanting to do
big.
performance with it too,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
so I think
plus
like a
it's bigger,
physical,
because I don't want to be
yeah.
small.
But I think though instead of focusing on that, focus on the physical performance of something.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be something more along the lines of
She knows I like to eat.
yeah. Well, you've not really been patty pastry here recently.
No.
As much.
Anyways, on that note, we are.
Patty pastry, for you guys that don't know or didn't watch the previous podcast that we had.
don't need to recap.
It was my version of Little Debbie, but it's patty pastry.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. Anyways, while we were on a brief break, we thought it would be fun to get everybody here. So get Tabitha and get Nikki and do a panel discussion where we actually made it like a live. So you guys we'd live stream on Facebook or whatever, and you guys could actually submit questions, and we like in panel form could answer them, like, and anybody who wanted to answer the questions.
Yes.
So we're gonna pick a date for that and keep you updated, but we're gonna do it when all 5 of us can be on here, and we'll just set it up, and it'll be real casual, but we can answer anything that people want to.
Yes, and it can be questions ranging from like similar topics that we spoke about today, motherhood to how do you stay fit, how do you balance this. You know, where did you get? How did you get where you are?
Health stuff, whatever you want.
Yes.
Like we can
Questions, tips.
Yes, yeah, we can talk about it. So I think that would be fun for everybody. So anything else before we kind of wrap up today? We were so random.
We were all over the place.
We were all
but
over today.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's fun though. All right, as
I like those
always,
days.
we're going to end with a quote. This is, "You cannot serve from an empty vessel," and that's Eleanor Brown. We will see y'all the next time.